Turning Point USA wants to convince you that a higher minimum wage equals more expensive childcare. Now, there are multiple issues that I have with this video, but I'm going to let the video speak for itself and then we'll talk about it throughout.
Here's your daily freedom seed.
Again, this is so weird. I don't understand why there's I know I made like a fancy intro and everything, but like every part about the things that I have in this video that you're watching like have a meaning. Like when I have a background, for example, everything that you see behind me has a purpose. I use it and I actually love it. But I don't understand when people make these weird, like, I don't know, it's whatever. But anyways, that's not the point. Let's watch this video.
Left-wing lawmakers and politicians in America continue to propose minimum wage hikes, hoping to provide more money to people who make minimum wage. Last month, we talked about the reality of inflation, that the price of goods and services goes up as the minimum wage increases. So
we'll talk about that claim in a moment. After this video.
You don't actually get to keep more money in your pocket at the end of the day. A new study by the Heritage Foundation has identified one key area where prices are sure to skyrocket as a result of the proposed $15 federal minimum wage: childcare costs. Fact, if we were to...
So I'm going to go through every single citation that she's going through here because she's totally screwing up here. Like she's making massive mistakes, but I want to let her speak first.
Implement a $15 minimum wage, the cost of childcare would, on average, increase by 21% across the country. That's an extra $3,728 per year for 2 children. In some states, the cost of childcare could grow up to 43%, or more than $6,000. The truth is, raising the minimum wage sounds really good, but causes everything else to become more expensive. So it doesn't do much good in the end. I'm Isabel Brown, and you're watching Freedom Seed. A federal minimum wage hike would make childcare even more expensive.
So then we shouldn't increase the minimum wage. That's her conclusion. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the citations that she put forward. So first up, you should probably know that the first citation she used was the Heritage Foundation. And the Heritage Foundation is known for climate change denial, voter fraud claims, the funding of it's pretty fucked up and corrupt. Everything about the Heritage Foundation is corrupt. So what is the thing that she's referencing? What's the specific study? Maybe I'm just attacking the publisher and not the actual article itself. Let's take a look at what is actually being referenced specifically. So this is from the Heritage Foundation, the impact of a $15 minimum wage on the cost of childcare. Now, this is from Rachel Gressler, who does not have a PhD in economics. I really want to emphasize she does not have a PhD in economics. She has a master's degree. I don't even think she has a master's degree in economics, though. But if you actually read this article, which I did, I'll save you the time, okay? So here's the bullshit claim that's being made, okay? Here it is. Okay, so mandating that all childcare workers receive at least $15 per hour would result in significant cost increases for childcare providers, with childcare regulations limiting childcare providers' ability to reduce other expenditures. Higher costs would be passed on to families through significant childcare price increases. The median wage for childcare workers across the U.S. is $11.65 per hour. Thus, a $15 minimum wage would require a majority of childcare workers to receive significant wage increases. So far, that's technically correct. There are plenty of childcare workers who are making only $11.25 an hour or $7.25 an hour, the minimum wage. I like how they just want to emphasize the median is $11.65. Just ignore the fact that, you know, pretty much everyone's really making just $7.25 an hour, which is the minimum wage. But anyways, yeah, the minimum wage is probably going to increase the wages of childcare workers. Good. Now, using wage distribution data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Occupational Employment Statistics, I estimate that a $15 minimum wage would require an average increase of 29% in the wages of childcare workers across 50 states. This does not include additional FICA taxes and other potential costs that employers would be required to pay along with with higher wages. So let me just translate what that means. I think that the number is 29% increase. Rachel, I estimate she's not going to give any sort of mathematical background as to where she got that number. Rachel Gressler. Who is Rachel Gressler? Well, I'm glad you asked because we can find that out too. Rachel Gressler works for the Heritage Foundation, and she just has a master's degree, and that's it. And so her areas of expertise, jobs and labor, Social Security. Why? Why is that her area of expertise? What qualifies her to be an expert in jobs and labor and Social Security? What qualifies her? Oh, she has a master's degree and she works at the Heritage Foundation, a corrupt foundation. So everything that this video is relying on, which is the Heritage Foundation article, is based on an opinion from a person who has a master's degree. So according to the California State University San Bernardino, according to Daniel McDonald and Eric Nilsson, the abstract of this June 2016 article reads, "We analyzed the price pass-through effect of the minimum wage and used the results to provide insight into the competitive structure of low-wage labor markets. Using monthly price series, we find that the pass-through effect is entirely concentrated on the month that the minimum wage change goes into effect and is much smaller than what the canonical literature has found." We then discuss why our results differ from that literature, noting the impact of series interpolation in generating most of the previous results. The effect of a minimum wage increase, it doesn't just immediately affect everything, cause inflation. It doesn't do the things that this lady is trying to say, this person is trying to say. So, according to the science, California State University, San Bernardino, using monthly price series, we find that the pass-through effect is entirely concentrated on the month that the minimum wage change goes into effect and is much smaller than what the canonical literature has found. And you can, when I post this on YouTube, I will link in the description this article so you can all read the actual details. See, unlike this person who decided that in their description, they don't even want to link, they don't even want to give you the hyperlink to the Heritage Foundation. Look at this. I want to show you something real quick. So it's really hard to see, but if you can carefully see, there's a really long URL here. That's the citation. So it's not even in the description. I had to type this out. That was really annoying, Turning Point USA. Please don't make me work this hard next time. So yeah, let me make a few comments about this, about the minimum wage and childcare. So first off, how do you fix the problem of expensive childcare? And why is childcare expensive? Well, simply put, childcare is a private market. Childcare is a private market, which doesn't make any sense. If you think about it really carefully, we all need this thing. Childcare. Children need childcare. If you don't have childcare, then you're not going to have a productive society. Then everyone's just going to stay home. And then that's not a good thing. So childcare should be a public utility. Childcare should be free and guaranteed to every parent. That's what, and you should get a certain amount, and you should get, there are tons of unique ways of doing this that make it like utopian and really cool. But then the other thing is, whenever people whenever people sign up for childcare, they usually get like subsidized or something for that childcare. They get paid to go through that to that childcare. But what's really happening is that money is going to the CEOs of the childcare and not the workers. If you make it a public good, then the childcare workers themselves make a shit ton of money. Like all of a sudden, they make a shit ton of money. We can pay them extremely well because the money isn't being sucked by a CEO. So simply put, childcare should be a public good. What about the minimum wage? Where am I on the minimum wage? So I think $15 is not enough. I think $15 is just absolutely not enough. I think that we should be focusing on other productive economic ways of helping Americans. I think we should I think we should increase the minimum wage, but I think we should be talking a lot more about UBI and specifically productive ways of doing UBI. So Andrew Yang's policy, his form of doing UBI, let me do a little side note here about my opinion about Andrew Yang. I know this could be unpopular, but hear me out, okay? Here's the opinion, okay? So Andrew Yang wants to give you cash. And the thing about giving you cash is that your landlord can take that cash. Your grocery store can take that cash. The people who sell your laptop can take that cash. Someone's going to take that cash, right? And a lot of companies can take that cash away from you, right? You're going to use that cash somehow. But because it's up for grabs from everyone, it causes inflation. That causes inflation. So how do you prevent that? Well, you don't just get rid of UBI. UBI is a good idea. I love UBI, but you just add one extra little asterisk that you designate chunks of that money towards specific things like food, rent. I think childcare should just be free. I think I think we need to figure out how to change the housing market as well, but because the concept of private housing is fucking stupid. But that's beside the point. When you have a bunch of people that are trying to get at your cash, then they're all going to raise their prices. So your landlord's going to increase prices. So if you designate your UBI as US currency, then the problem you run into is everyone's going to try to get that money. But if you say, okay, we're going to make 50% of it cash and 50% of it we're going to designate towards specific needs that you probably need, and that way no one can grab this cash from you except your landlord or except your local grocery store or something like that.